This story is from 5,000 years ago, when in ancient Egypt, a fearless king decided to destroy all the tribes there and conquer the entire region. His biggest support was a beautiful but dangerous sorceress. But a fearless warrior stood against that king, who was one of those helpless tribes. Will that warrior be able to achieve his goal? And how will he deal with the sorceress? We will learn all this in today's story. In the beginning of the story, we see a glimpse of thousands of years ago. At that time, people in Egypt lived in tribes and the period of building pyramids had not even begun. But in that same period, dangerous tribe came there, led by Memnon. He attacked all the tribes there and took control. In fact, the real reason for all these victories of Memnon was his sorceress Cassandra. Cassandra used to tell about her victories or defeats in the future with her powers. And Memnon used to make his plan according to that. Now there were only a few free tribes left, who were secretly saving their lives. The chiefs of these remaining tribes were also afraid of fighting Memnon. The biggest reason for this was the sorceress Cassandra, because they knew very well that they could never defeat Memnon while Cassandra was alive. But one of the chiefs of Firun still wanted to fight Memnon. That's why he called 3 brave warriors of the tribe, who were very dangerous. One of them was Matthias. Firun told all 3 of them to kill the sorceress of Memnon, Cassandra. In return, he gave them the last precious stone of his treasure. Hearing this, all 3 warriors were ready to kill Cassandra. But Firun's son was not happy with his father's decision. After this, Matthias and his companions set out for Memnon. Now all 3 of them reached the place where Memnon and the sorceress Cassandra were staying. They reached there and start looking for Cassandra. But before they could find Cassandra, Memnon's soldiers suddenly attacked them with arrows. Matthias somehow manages to escape, but his 2 companions are shot. One of them is killed there, while the other, who is Matthias' brother, is injured. Memnon's soldiers capture him and imprison him. On the other hand, Matthias somehow manages to reach Cassandra, sorceress, and is about to kill her. But then Cassandra says, "You have been deceived." Before Matthias could understand anything, Memnon's soldiers arrive. Matthias starts fighting with them. But suddenly, Memnon's soldiers capture him and take him to Memnon. There, Firun's son is also present. He kills his father and befriends Memnon. Meanwhile, Memnon's soldiers also bring Matthias' brother there, who is still alive. Now, Memnon kills Matthias' brother right in front of his eyes. After this, he is about to kill Matthias as well, when Cassandra stops him. Cassandra tells Memnon, "Do not kill Matthias." She warns him, "If you or any of your men kill Matthias, your destruction is certain. Whatever you have won, it will all be taken away from you." Cassandra says that she has seen with her own eyes that Matthias is one of the good men created by God. Hearing this, Memnon agrees to what she says. Instead of killing Matthias, he decides to punish him. Memnon buries Matthias and a thief in the ground, so that they continue to suffer there. Memnon's soldiers leave smoke in the mouths of poisonous ants to kill them, which releases the poisonous ants. These ants are so dangerous that they can turn person into a skeleton in matter of minutes. But before the ants reach Matthias, the thief buried in the ground somehow frees himself. He helps Matthias to get out of the ground as well, saving Matthias' life. Now Matthias, Memnon and his sorceress Cassandra begin to move towards Memnon's kingdom to avenge the death of their brother and companion. On the other side, Memnon is shown, who tells Cassandra that he wants to attack the remaining tribes and take control of them. But Cassandra stops him and says, "No one has ever benefited from bloodshed and war. No one has ever benefited from bloodshed and war. I want to rule the whole world. And when I win the whole world, I will marry you. Cassandra says, if I marry you, all my powers will be gone forever. Memnon replies, when I win the whole world, we will not need your powers. On the other side, Matthias and the thief reach Memnon's kingdom. There, Child steals Matthias' bag, which contains a precious stone. But finally, Matthias catches the child. Actually, this child is from Memnon's kingdom, so he knows every nook and cranny of the place. Matthias tells him to take him to Memnon's palace. In return, Matthias promises to give him precious stone. The child agrees to this proposal and takes Matthias to the palace. In the palace, he meets an old man who is making explosives. Actually, this old man is a scientist who invents new weapons for Memnon. But the old man does not like Memnon because Memnon does not treat him well. Memnon wants him to make explosives, which he will use in the war. Matthias places a sword on the old man and asks him, where will I find Memnon now? The old man replies, Memnon must be practicing swordsmanship now. After this, the child takes Matthias to the place where Memnon was practicing. Before Matthias climbs up, he gives the child a precious stone to help him. After this, Matthias climbs up. As soon as Matthias aims to kill Memnon, he sees that Memnon's soldiers have caught the child with the precious stone and brought it to Memnon. He thought that the child had stolen the stone. Memnon orders his soldier to cut the child's hand because this is the punishment for theft in Egypt. So, even though he does not want Matthias, he has to aim at the soldier to save the child. So, Memnon's soldiers see Matthias and start shooting at him. But Matthias runs away from there and then he runs to room where the sorceress Cassandra is bathing. Matthias kidnaps the sorceress and brings her out of Memnon's palace. Matthias knew that Memnon would come out of the palace to save his sorceress. When Memnon comes out to save his sorceress, Matthias will kill him. Then Matthias will kill the sorceress. After this, Matthias takes the sorceress to the Valley of the Dead. It is night and the three of them go to sleep in one place to rest. Then the sorceress tries to escape from there, but Matthias sees her. Matthias grabs her and asks her, do you want to run away and go to Memnon? The sorceress replies, no, I will never go to him because he has kept me captive since childhood. Then Matthias asks her, why did you help me that night? The sorceress tells him, I saw in my prophecy that you will free me from Memnon's palace. Hearing this, Matthias says, if you want to go from here, you can go, but the outside world is more dangerous than me. The sorceress decides that she will stay with Matthias now. The next day, the three of them set out on their journey. But then Matthias sees that Memnon has sent some of his soldiers to kill them. Seeing this, Matthias goes alone to fight them. Matthias knows that there is going to be a storm in the desert soon, so he ties a bandage around his eyes so that he can protect his eyes from the storm. As soon as Matthias gets close to the soldiers, a huge storm comes from behind him, which makes the soldiers of Memnon blind. Taking advantage of this, Matthias kills all the soldiers of Memnon one by one. But then Memnon's commander sees a cave, so he quickly takes his remaining soldiers and goes inside the cave. Then Matthias also follows them into the cave. After entering the cave, Matthias kills the remaining soldiers one by one. Seeing all this, Memnon's commander, out of fear, saves his life and comes out of the cave. Matthias catches him, but before he dies, he shoots Matthias with an arrow. Actually, this arrow was given to him by Memnon, which contained scorpion venom, which spreads venom all over Matthias' body, and he falls unconscious there. At night, Matthias is about to die, but the sorceress Cassandra uses her magic to remove the venom from his body. And this is how Matthias survives. The next morning, when Matthias wakes up, he finds a bird with the soldiers of Memnon. He sends a message to Memnon through the bird that all his soldiers have been killed. But Memnon lies that Matthias is dead, so that his soldiers' morale does not break before the war. Still, his soldiers keep asking about Cassandra. Memnon lies to them that Cassandra is at the palace, and she is not well. He does not want his soldiers' morale, which has always been high, to break because of Cassandra. On the other hand, Matthias, Cassandra and the thieves, who are wandering in the desert in search of water. There is an explosion. They see that this is the same old man who was making explosives for Memnon in the palace. And now he has succeeded in making explosives. Actually, that old man has also run away from the palace and come here, because Memnon had found out that he had helped Matthias. Now, that old man is very happy to see Cassandra. After this, the four of them start moving forward in search of water. Finally, they find water at one place. But then suddenly a lot of soldiers come there, and they capture all of them and take them to a tribe. A lot of people are hiding from Memnon here. Only then does the chief of that tribe come out, whom Matthias already knew. But they did not like each other at all. Now the chief of the tribe wants to kill them all, but then the queen of that tribe comes and tells him not to do this. The chief of the tribe does not agree, and tells his soldiers to bring magician Cassandra to me. Then Matthias says, whoever comes to magician Cassandra, he will have to fight me first. This angered the chief of the tribe, and he went ahead to fight Matthias. Now the battle between Matthias and the chief of the tribe begins. The chief of the tribe was hitting hard on Matthias, but even after being so powerful, Matthias finally defeated him. Then Matthias says to him, we have only one enemy, and that is Memnon. That is why we should fight against him together, not among ourselves. The chief of the tribe asks Matthias, who will face such a large army? On this, Matthias says, we will do it together. The chief of the tribe agrees, and gives him permission to stay in the tribe. Now it is night, and a little girl comes to Cassandra. Then she has a vision, in which she sees that Memnon has attacked that tribe, and has wreaked havoc in the entire tribe, in which many innocent people have also been killed. For this reason, she gets upset and goes to Matthias, and tells him everything about her vision. On this, Matthias says to him, Memnon's death will be in my hands. Then Cassandra has another vision, and this time she sees that Matthias is hit by an arrow, which injures him, and he is taking his last breaths. Then Cassandra comes to her senses and says to Matthias, if you come in front of him, you will be killed, and this is your fate. On this, Matthias says, I will write my own fate. Then they slowly come very close to each other. And as Cassandra had said earlier, that if she comes close to anyone, all her powers will be lost. So now all her powers are gone. Now in the night, Cassandra takes Matthias' camel and goes to Memnon's palace, because she does not want the innocent people of the tribe to die because of her. Now the next morning, when Matthias finds out that the sorceress Cassandra has gone back to the palace, he goes to the palace alone to save her. Because he does not want Cassandra to become a prisoner of Memnon again. But the chief of the tribe does not let him go alone, and says, we will go with you. On the other hand, everyone in Memnon's palace is enjoying themselves, and Memnon's soldiers keep asking him about the sorceress Cassandra, because the next day they have to go to war. But Memnon has no answer to this, and he lies to them again that he is sick. Meanwhile, Cassandra comes there and says to Memnon, you will win the war tomorrow. Your enemies will come here tomorrow, whom you will easily defeat. But Memnon now suspects Cassandra because he thinks Cassandra has lost her powers. So he asks her to go to his room and kills the soldier who kept asking about the sorceress Cassandra. Then he tells his special soldier, "You guard the palace." On the other hand, the people of Matthias and the tribe also enter the palace, where the old man who had made the gunpowder, together with the thief, begins to lay the gunpowder in front of the palace. Then we see Memnon, who asks for 6 pots to test the powers of the sorceress Cassandra. Out of the 4 pots, there are poisonous snakes, and 2 pots are empty. He tells Cassandra to put her hand in the empty pot. But the sorceress Cassandra puts her hand in the snake pot. She takes out the snake and says, "Your time has come." But before Memnon could kill Cassandra, Matthias comes there. Now Memnon and Matthias are in front of each other, and the fight begins between them. On the other side, we see the chief of the tribe killing Memnon's soldier. Then the son of Pharaoh comes there, who killed his own father in the beginning of the story and joined hands with Memnon. Because of this, Matthias' brother was also killed. Now the chief of the tribe also kills him. On the other side, when the fight between Matthias and Memnon was going on, then Memnon deceitfully puts a spear in Matthias' eyes and throws him away. Then Memnon's soldier comes there, who is about to shoot Matthias. But before that, the sorceress Cassandra runs towards him, so that she can save Matthias. But when Matthias sees this, he grabs Cassandra and turns around, which causes an arrow to hit his back. And this is the same scene that Cassandra had seen in her vision. Then the soldier takes his sword and goes towards Matthias. But before that, Cassandra kills him. On the other side, Matthias, who is now badly wounded, sees an arrow lying there. He picks it up, pulls out the arrow on his back, and aims it at Memnon. Memnon, who is an expert in stopping such arrows, but this time the arrow is so sharp that it goes straight to Memnon's chest. And Memnon starts falling from the top of the palace. At the same time, the thief also sets fire to the gunpowder. And there is very big explosion there. And Memnon goes straight into the fire, from which he burns her to death. This is how Memnon dies. And now everyone there considers Matthias their king. Then we see the scene of the next morning, where all the people of the tribe are going back to their tribe. Now the chief of the tribe, who now says goodbye to Matthias and goes back to his tribe. At the same time, Cassandra tells Matthias that there will be peace and happiness in our kingdom. 2. Which Matthias says, "I have heard that if you come close to someone, your powers will be lost. So how did you see all this?" Cassandra says, "I did not lie. My powers are with me." To which Matthias asks, "How long will there be peace and happiness in the kingdom?" To which Cassandra says, "Nothing is immortal forever. And this is the destiny of every kingdom." To which Matthias says, "We will write our own destiny for this kingdom." Then they both kiss. And with this, the story ends here. Friends, we hope you enjoyed this story. We will meet again